Hello everyone, welcome again to another LazyArquitecto live show. Where we teach you AutoCAD in a way that is more productive so you can stop wasting your time. As always, we show up here each Friday around 10 a.m. and that is the time in Pennsylvania in the United States. So, see if your time is important, if you work using AutoCAD, this is your channel. If you're new, my name is Irving. I'm an AutoCAD certified professional. I am also an aspiring architect working in an architecture firm. And the reason why I'm here to share my expertise, my experience, anything that I can share with you to save you a little bit of time. I'll be doing so. All right, so let's start getting ready over here for today's presentation. Hope you are doing great. Our friend Matthew is on the chat. Let me see if I can start reading some of your comments. How are you doing today, guys? Okay, so our friend Matthew says hello again. Hey Matthew, I'm glad that you made it also today, so that we can learn something, right? Learn something and implement it immediately on your task, on whatever you're working on in AutoCAD. That's the beauty of doing live streams, so we have that direct interaction, right? So yeah, today we're gonna see some tips and tricks, techniques that I saw. There are folks still struggling. For instance, last week I got a co-worker at the architecture office where I work that was doing a task. He was wasting some time here and there, and I shared him a quick tip, a quick trick, and he loved it. So that's one of the tips I'm gonna share today also, and then we'll have a couple more. All right, so let me how are you doing today, my friend Matthew? So let me see. All right, so let's start preparing for today's presentation. Let me close this. Matthew says, very well, thank you, hope you are too. Yes, I'm doing good, my friend Matthew. Excited to be here again. Like every Friday, I try not to miss a Friday. And if I do, for some, weird reason, maybe I'm sick or whatever, I always let you know. How? Well, in our Patreon page or membership. So yeah, you can join free actually. If you want to better connect with me, with the community, it's free. So that's where I again share any updates with LazyArquitecto. Maybe we're not doing a live stream next Friday, and then I'll quickly post something saying why I'm sick or whatever, and boom, everyone will get notified. Again, it's free, and we are like 200 members over there. Of course, there is also the paid membership version where you can get all of our files, blogs, tools, anything that we create here on YouTube. But again, you also have the free version just to keep in touch with me always. So let's say YouTube for some reason disappear, then we'll never see you again. But if you're there, like these 200 folks, I immediately will send them a post, a message, whatever, and we will know where to meet again. All right, So let me go and start preparing here for today's tips and tricks. I don't need all of these notes. This is just for explanation purposes. Let's do a preview. Again, we're not doing anything here yet. So let me put this on dev point. I'm just getting ready. Okay, that's good enough to demonstrate today's tips and tricks. All right. Guess we are ready. We are gonna start then. Let me see. Okay. Let me change screens because we are ready to do this, guys. All right, let's do it. So actually not last week, this week. Hey guys, if you're new, we're gonna have also some time to do some Q&A later. So if you're interested in that, you can again ask any AutoCAD questions and you'll get answers in real time. Okay. All right, let's start. This week, working in an architecture office, I had a friend who had an interesting task. He had a drawing like this with a lot of notes, details, and drawings all around, but he needed to present only the floor plan to his client. So you can imagine maybe just let's do a preview. Again, all of these notes and details, probably you will think that you can, move this out of the way, maybe 100 feet or let's say 500 feet. And that way you won't have your details and you can create your PDF and send it to the client. The problem was that in a professional environment, you will not only have notes, you'll have different viewports, you'll have details, and so on. So that's a problem again, because this method won't work. You'll have to move a lot of things around in a complex drawing, and then it would be a problem to put it all back. So let me undo that. So then what he tried also, or what I suggested to him was make a copy of the layout tab, right? Make a copy, right clicking on the layout tab, create a copy. Oops. move or copy, create a copy right there, and that way he could go ahead and remove all of his viewports, details, and so on, so he could create a PDF to send to his client. And that way, when he's ready to proceed with the construction documents, he has a backup with all of the details that he needed to finish his work. Now, that's a good idea, but again, it will bring problems in the future, especially if you don't know which one is the correct or the latest layout or drawing. Again, if another person is also working on your drawings, it will be a big headache for them to figure it out which drawing to continue or to finish. So then I presented this technique, this small tip and trick, but very, very useful, that I'm going to share with you also today. So let me undo a couple of times. Okay, let me erase it then. So I'm going to delete, say okay. So the technique that I shared was, on any viewport, you can actually hide the content that is inside. And you might think that you could do this by selecting the viewport and getting the layer, in this case depth points, and going to your layer properties and maybe turn off the let me find the depth points first. Turn off the plot option. But actually, no, that's not how it works. You can see the plot option is already turned off for depth points, but our content is still showing for that viewport. So how do we do it then? Well, the way we do it is by selecting the viewport, right click it on it, and there is an option here that says display viewport objects. So once we change that to nope, you can see what happened. We immediately hid all of the content on that viewport. Now we can do what we need. In this case, create a PDF to send to our client and so on. But you can see that the content is not there anymore. But of course, it's still in model space, which is great, right? This is a quick and easy tip, technique, or trick that you can utilize to avoid moving all of your details nodes around or creating copies of your drawings. Again, you don't have to waste time doing that. Simply right click on your viewport and hide the content. Again, to put it back, same idea, right click on your viewport and you can say display viewport objects and say yes. So that way, when you are ready, you can keep working on your nodes, on your details, and finalize your drawings. So what do you think about this first tip and trick? Did you notice? Let me know in the chat before we proceed with the next one. Let me see. Okay. Did you know that trick? Matthew Ram. Oh, Ram is also in the chat. Hi, Ram. I don't know. I think you're new to the live streams. If that's the case, welcome aboard. My name is Irving, and we show up here each Friday at 10 a.m. And that is the time in Pennsylvania in the United States. So Ram says, yep. Oh, Ram knew this trick. That's awesome. Because again, like I was explaining, a friend at the office, at the architecture office where I work, he didn't know this technique. He was just doing it the long and tedious and confusing way. So that's why I wanted to share this with you today. Let's say Mobile Legend is on the chat. Hi, Mobile Legend. I think you're not new to the live streams, but I didn't see you for a long time, my friend. Hope you are doing great, Mobile Legend. I even forgot your name already because you didn't show up to the live streams. So yeah, Mobile Legend. Glad to see you around. Ram says, "Yep, I know you, and I'm old." Oh, you know me? Oh, maybe you're not new to the live streams then. Gaurang is on the chat. Hi, Gaurang. Hope you're doing great. Say hello. Yeah, I'm glad that there are a lot of folks connected today. That's awesome. That's awesome that YouTube is recommending our live streams to more and more folks, so that way we keep growing this community, right? We've been doing live streams for so long already on YouTube. If you didn't know, let me see if I can share that with you. Let me see, view channel. Yep, for folks that didn't know, we've been doing live streams again for many years already, I believe. Maybe let's see, live streams. In the beginning, we started like everyone else. We recorded videos, but now we shifted more towards live streams. I like that idea, to have that direct interaction with you. I know it's hard because there might be problems, technical difficulties, and so on, but I don't care. I just I like to do live streams. All right, so let's keep moving. Let's see if there are any questions so far on the chat, so we can continue with today's presentations and keep sharing some tips and tricks. Let's see. Mobile Legend says, "I might not be on your live, but I still watch it whenever I'm back at home." Hey, that's good to know, my friend. That's good to know that you do care about your time, right? Because I know there are some folks that they actually don't care if they just taking hours to do something in AutoCAD, because they're working for somebody else, so they don't care, right? As long as they are getting paid, they don't care if a task again is taking so long. But the problem is not only that, is also that you are always working under stress. That's what I noticed at the office where I work, right? Folks, they're always stressed out. The boss is always asking, when are you getting this done? Like, but in my case, they never ask me that. They know I'm the faster there, so they know I'm working efficiently, and I'm very relaxed. For me, it's like a video game basically when I work in AutoCAD. Very relaxed, doing this quickly, boom, boom. It's so yeah. So who works very stressed and who works very relaxed here in the chat? Just put stressed or relax. Let me know and be honest. Mobile Legend, Ram, Matthew, Gaurang. Stressed or relaxed? Gaurang says, "After a long time, I attend your live due to time constraints, but today I get the chance to attend live, either watch recorder one." Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome that you guys are also watching the recordings here on YouTube. That's great. All right, so let's keep moving then. Matthew was on the chat and says, mostly relaxed. That's awesome, Matthew. That's why you are here each Friday consistently with us, Matthew. So that's awesome. You're always keeping up with the software tools, updates, and more efficient ways to do things. So yeah, that's awesome, Matthew. That's great. And the thing is, not only you're more relaxed, but you can leave. You can go to home earlier, right? If you're being very slow working in AutoCAD, most of the time you're gonna stay late to finish a project, But if you're very efficient, you'll go home early. All right. Warang says 50-50. If work not happen properly, so no relax either. I mean, Gaurang is being honest. That's awesome. 50-50, he says. Mobile Legend says, you helped me not to be stressed. That's awesome, Mobile Legend. I mean, you gotta think about it this way. At least that's the way I see things. If I'm working on a project, I'm working on a task in AutoCAD, and it's taking me a lot of time. I stop and think for a second. Wait a second, this task, there's gotta be an easier way to do this. And then I do some research, some try and error, but finally found a quicker way, a more efficient way, and that's where I also share here. So for instance, a good example is equipment schedules, right? Who here in the chat does equipment schedules? In our case for restaurants, but maybe for any other type of facility. So that is very time consuming. When I started doing equipment schedules, it took me hours and hours because I had to do it one by one. I had to check my equipment tag, I had to move it, I had to copy, paste it one by one and build up my equipment schedule. Oh my god, it was a nightmare. So, I found a better way by using attributes, exporting, creating a table quickly. And I don't know if I shared that already. Yes, I did share that, but for people who don't know what I'm talking about, let me see if I can share it. I believe is number 1, layers, side plans, schedules. Here we go. This is the video. If you're new, again, you didn't watch this, you're still wasting time with your equipment schedules, this is the live stream for you, my friend. You're gonna love this technique. Again, to quickly or automatically create your tables, your schedule using attributes and blocks. All right. So now, what it took me maybe 2-3 hours to do, takes me 15 minutes or 20 minutes to the max. It's crazy, right? But the problem is there are folks at the office that are still doing it manually. Again, moving or copying one row of equipment information and building his schedule one by one. Anyway, let's keep moving. Okay. All right, let's keep moving. All right. So, to start with the second tip and trick, I have a proposed floor plan here that it is an XREF. I need to add dimensions through my floor plan to present to a client. I could do this the long and tedious way, again, which is adding a dimension from this point to this point, and then keep going one by one again for the wall thickness, for the other restroom, and so on. But let's see how we can streamline this process of adding dimensions. Now for that, we're gonna use a awesome command called qdim. Now, if you ever use qdim, one of the problems is that it won't work for extras. So if we start using the qdim, let's say maybe we use it from here to here and press enter, you can see nothing really happens. It says invalid number of dimension points, and the reason being is because, again, this is an external reference. So how I like to tackle this task then, again, to make things more easier for me, it's to go ahead and open that XREF. So by right clicking and say open XREF, and that way I can work with regular lines and polylines. Once I add my dimensions quickly here with the qdim command, and I'm also going to share you another tip for the qdim, I can copy and paste it to my XREF plan easily. So let's try that then. Gonna use the qdim command. Now, one of the other problems with the qdim command is that once you start using it in this way, by clicking 2 points and selecting the items that you want to dimension, in this case all of these walls, I'll press enter, and then I'll move my mouse up and place it like so. So that's good, but you'll see a problem in some instances. For example, let's try the qdim in this direction. So I'm going to try qdim. I'm going to try from this point all the way up to this wall and press enter. I'm going to place my dimensions right here, and you see the problem I was referring to. Let's get closer. You can see that not only my rooms got a dimension, but also you see all those weird small dimensions that I don't actually need. And it would be a waste of time to try to erase those again one by one. It defeats the purposes of using the qdimension. So let me undo a couple of times to show you the technique I mentioned before for those cases, and is using the qdim command but with a secret option. And it's secret because the option is not given here in AutoCAD. So if you don't see it, then you'll never knew this. But the secret option is right there, and you can access it with the F shortcut or F key on your keyboard. And once you press enter, you can see that we are activating the fence option. Again, it wasn't provided by AutoCAD, which is weird. You'll never knew this, but it's there. The beauty of the fence option for the qdim is that I can dimension only the things that I care. In this case, I don't want a dimension from here to here to here to here. I only want a dimension from this point. So I can go ahead and whatever my fence is touching, in this case is touching only the walls, like so, I can go ahead and press enter and enter one more time, and you can see how beautifully my dimensions are gonna be placed. Isn't that great, guys? Again, no weird small dimensions, only the dimensions that I needed, the walls and the rooms. And that was so quick, guys. So let me show you again one more time if you didn't get it. QDim. Let's activate the secret option that is not here. F for fence. Let me go ahead. In this case, I want only from this line. So I'm gonna go here. I want this wall. Yes, I don't want the demo wall. So I'm gonna go ahead. I want this room, and I'll press enter. Enter one more time to accept that, and then boom, I'll place my dimensions beautifully. Now, all I gotta do now is simply select all my dimensions with the right click and select similar, and that way I can use the Control Shift X to copy from a base point, in this case this corner, and that way all my dimensions are not showing up there, but I can place them with Control V and put it where it needs to be, right there. Awesome. What do you think, guys, about this technique? Again, I use it every time at the architecture office where I work to save time myself over and over. I don't know if you knew this technique, but again, it's I use it all the time. Again, hopefully you can now also save time. Let me know on the chat, what do you think? Do you know this technique? Yes, no? Let me know on the chat. All right, our friend Mobile Legends, you help me not to be. Oh, I think we already read that. Let's see what you think, guys, before we move to the next tip and trick. Do you know this technique? Let me know. Yes, no. Put it on the chat. All right. Mobile Legends says, I believe those are clubs. Yeah, I think those are clubs, right? Yeah. But again, guys, if you're wasting time adding dimensions to your drawings, oh my god, that's not good, my friend. Again, you quickly saw how I added dimensions to all of my rooms and walls, what, in less than 5 minutes? So yeah, my friend, and this also goes for a friend that asked me about how to add dimensions quickly. I think it was last live stream, so I forgot his name, but here you have it, my friend. Again, I don't remember his name. Mobile Legends says, I know QDim, but never knew it can use fence. Yeah, because AutoCAD didn't show it on the options. How are we supposed to know this stuff, right? Again, the way I found it was by trying and error, trying different options. I'll try first the from command to dimension something from here to there. I try the CP option, cross polyline, which also works with dimension, and you might need it on certain cases. But the most powerful was the fence option, which again lets you quickly go through any objects that you don't want to add dimensions. So this way, with the fence option, you can basically dimension anything and quickly, right? All right, guys, let me start getting ready for the next tip and trick or secret or how hack or what, however you want to call it. I mean, for me, it's secret because if you don't see it, how are you supposed to know? It's just secret, hidden there somewhere. Anyway, let's see. Let's keep moving. All right, let me start getting ready over here. To go with the next one, and then we'll still have some time to Q&A, guys, if you have any other AutoCAD question. Okay, I think I'm gonna, all right. So how we do this? All right, so I'm gonna add an extra dimension here from here to here, like so. All right, so let's go with the third tip and trick. So I have a dimension here that it's an overall interior dimension, and I would like to say so in the dimension with a text. So, you know, you might be doing this the manual way, which is going here, pasting your text and start typing here. But again, that's not a good way. Why? Because if you move your dimension, your text will stay there. So a quick way to do this, not a quick way, but an intermediate way to do this is by going to your properties, and I'm gonna show you the quickest way in a moment. But first, let me show you how many folks also might be doing this. So probably go to a property palette and they scroll down, spend some time trying where is the overridden option, which I don't find it also. Here we go, text override, and then, you know, they type their measurement. They probably had to put a weird code like this greater or less symbol, and then they also gotta put this slash, and they gotta put the X symbol, and then type their type whatever text they need to show underneath. Now press enter, and boom, they have it right there. The problem of doing this, again, there is a more efficient way to do it. And also the problem here is that if you had to do this in multiple locations, for instance over here, let me add another dimension. You cannot just match properties here. You have to do it again the same way. Find it, the option that you need, and so on. So let me show you the quick little tip or technique I use. So let me undo a couple of times. And you can do it, actually, you can add a text underneath directly here from the dimension. You don't have to waste time opening a property palette, going through all of those settings. Nope, no. So all you gotta do is get inside your dimension by double click on it, go to the end with this left arrow, and just type 2 characters. That's all you need, guys. And the characters are these two, the slash and then the letter X, and boom, I'm right there. I can simply say interior dimension, or overall interior dimension in this case, and boom, that's it, guys. That's all you gotta do. No more wasting time going through your properties, settings, and so on. No, guys, that's again the quicker way. If you didn't get it the first time, I'm gonna do it again. So maybe you want to add here a restroom or something. So again, get inside your dimension, left arrow to go to the end, /X, and boom, you're underneath. Maybe, I don't know, you want to say restroom, boom, that's it. All right, so what do you think about this technique? Did you know this technique? Let me know on that chat. Because again, I saw many folks at the architecture office where I work, where they are still going through properties palette, settings, adding this, adding there. But again, a quick little tip that can save you some time, especially if you're doing this in multiple dimensions, right? That's a lot of work, actually. All right, let me see and go to the chat. We still have some time to Q&A. If you have any AutoCAD question or maybe a task that is taking you a lot of time, you can put it in the chat and see if we can help you. If we cannot help you quickly today, we might do an entire video about it. I mean, not video, an entire live stream. So, Mobile Legends says, excellent, I'm leveling up. That's awesome, Mobile Legend. Yeah, most of this stuff is stuff that I see at the architecture office where I work. You know, I get a call from a friend or a co-worker saying, hey, I'm doing this. Is there a better way to do this? How do I do it? And I saw how they're doing it, and then I try to help them. Mobile Legend says, I have a question, by the way. I want to reuse text in my plan view and make it isometric. I know from top view turn to isometric, then UCS view, copy back to top view, then paste text. Problem is, when I plot it to PDF, those isometric texts are twisted. Oh, that's an interesting question, my friend Mobile Legend. So I don't do that much isometric drawings, to be honest with you. The only time I did it was, I remember when we got building permit comments for plumbing, where they were requesting to do isometric plumbing riser diagram, and I had to do it. That was the only way where I actually used isometric inside AutoCAD. Mobile Legend. But I remember when I did that, let me see if I can give me 1 second. Share my screen, sorry. So again, when I did that a long time ago, by the way, so of course I had my floor plan in 2D because we don't use 3D in AutoCAD in the office, but I, like you're suggesting, we use the isometric by rotating our 3D view cube and click one of the corners, and and then we'll start drawing lines up, copying here and there. That's how we did it actually. And then but I remember we left the text like so in this isometric view, and the reason being is, I don't know, we still could read it and it looked more professional in this case, because it was aligned with the walls and so on. So we left it, my friend, and then that's how we created our drawing, our PDF. Of course, here I'll have to do the same here, like so. But we left it again, the text, like so. But your question is, you don't like to have the text like that. You want to have it like regular. That would look weird, actually. But if that's what you want, I'll have to investigate that and get back to you, my friend Mobile Legend. But just let me know on the chat, is that what you want? You want your isometric view and your text to read like this text right here, meaning normal? I think if that's the case, I'll again get back to you. I'll investigate. But in our case, when we did the plumbing riser isometric, we just left the text like so, because it was aligned again with everything. You still could read it. So, you know, we got approved plans, and yep, everything went smoothly. I don't know why you want the text to not be in the same rotation or angle as the walls, but that's your preference, I would say. Maybe your text is different and you cannot read it. Maybe, I don't know. But let's say Mobile Legend says, problem is when I plot it to PDF, those isometric texts are twisted. Yeah, because you changed the view. That's correct, isometric, but when I plot to PDF, it's twisted. Yeah, it gotta be twisted like the one that I show you, but if you still can read it, that wouldn't be a problem. But maybe you don't like it that is twisted. That's fine, that's a personal preference. Again, I'll have to investigate it, and then if I find a solution, I might do a video, right? Maybe we can do an isometric drawing live stream or something like that, and maybe share some tips and tricks and techniques. Again, to be honest, I didn't use that much isometric drawings in AutoCAD, but if I ever have to, but I can try it for you guys and try to find some useful techniques. All right. Okay. Of course, how I remember I used was the isometric drafting snaps or object snaps, so that way it can help you to draw quickly. But again, that's a completely different topic. We can do an entire live stream about isometric tips and tricks and techniques, but I'll just have to investigate more. All right, Mobile Legend. All right, let's see if there are another question. Let me know on the chat, guys. We have, I think, time for one more question. Okay. Let me see. Otherwise, I'll have to start thinking on our next live stream topic. Where is my content calendar? Let me see if I can share it with you guys. You might be interested on knowing what's coming up for LazyArquitecto on the next weeks. So we already tackled 3 tips and tricks today, or secrets, or however you want to call them. Let's see. Tag number using Excel and ChatGPT. What's this thing? dimensions techniques. I just show you 2-dimension techniques today. Color elevation in AutoCAD. That sounds interesting. Are you interested on color elevations in AutoCAD? Let me know in the chat. What's this empty topic? Create dynamic block, lighting, diagonal flip to avoid text rotated blocks. I think I already did this too. Lighting with diagonal flip. Yes, we already tackled that. So let me move it to published videos. Right here. Let's see, we have a comment on the chat. Our friend Mobile Legend says, thank you, I've been looking everywhere but no solution. I have to retype every text in proper isometric orientation. I can't cheat it. Wait, why you? So you want it in isometric orientation? I mean the text. So didn't you saw what I did, my friend Mobile Legend? So when I use or twisted the 3D view cube, the text is on the correct orientation. So I don't know why you have to copy again the text. You see that? I'll have to again maybe get a more detailed explanation from you, my friend Mobile Legend. Anyway, Mobile Legend says, also thank you for today's topic. Yeah, my friend, always. So we're gonna see you here next Friday at 10 a.m. But first I have something important to tell you guys, and this is that if AutoCAD ever feel stressful, or if your boss is always asking why things take so long, you might not be using the fastest methods. There is a better way to work in AutoCAD, my friend. So join our community, the LazyArquitectos. It's a membership where I share everything I create here on YouTube. Macros, dynamic blocks, templates, drawings, with no limits. So if you saw it on YouTube, you'll get full access inside. So check it out. It's at lazyarquitecto.com/members. All right, and I'll see you here next Friday at 10 a.m. All right, bye-bye.